my place is around the corner.
What is she trying to accomplish here? Like, you can clearly tell him and Chizuru aren't on the best terms after that argument. And if you ultimately plan to dump him again anyway, who's to say the two of them don't just get back together? I mean, this comes off as Mami having feelings for him, which is clearly not the text of the show. But this doesn't work as a scheme because it wouldn't accomplish anything long term.
But you just told everyone you have a boyfriend.
Yeah, I'm afraid that was a total lie.
See, this is the main issue with this show's continuity. It breaks it and then plays off the new continuity as if it was the original and then ignores it later, which completely takes the audience out of the story. Like, her reason for breaking up with him was that she was in love with someone else. So if that was a lie, then she's admitting that she just broke up with him because she didn't like him. So this seems pretty brain dead from what she's trying to achieve here.
What does that mean?
What do you mean, what does that mean? What you think it does, bro? That she was jealous of Chizuru and that you had got a new partner first, so she had to persuade everyone that she had a new partner too. Like, why do the writers think a character with no critical thinking skills is at all relatable? How would you expect she was gonna do it with you, man? She dumped you not too long ago, so why would one night in a pub make her go from blocking you and not speaking to you to sex terms? Why can he not think for 5 seconds? What the fuck is he doing? There's a trash can right there and he's gagging over the ground. Like, what if he does throw up? You do realize someone will have to clean that up, asshole. Like, I know he only cares about himself, but like, how does a university student not know that you should try and throw up in a toilet or a bowl you own, or at worst, a trash can, not just on the ground next to a vending machine? Like, this is the kind of thing I could let slide, but the show has moments like this in excess, and when you add them all up, it just shows how little the writers care.
She's being way nicer to me now than she ever was when we were dating.
To be fair, this is a more unique situation that I presume never came up when you were dating, right? Like, most people with the most basic sympathy would help someone who's feeling really sick. And I know you lack that skill, but it doesn't mean others do.
Out of other guys getting in your pants is sheer torture.
Honestly, man, why are you thinking about that now? When she clearly communicated to you that she wasn't seeing anyone. And while we know it's likely a lie, he doesn't know that. So this is just a weird as fuck line.
How about coming to my place instead?
I mean, that was a more sensible question before, but at this point it does seem kind of out of the blue and desperate. Especially because you supposedly have a girlfriend.
I didn't mean it like that!
Dude, backing out now just makes it sound 100 times worse, right? At least if you don't seem to grasp the implications, it can make you seem too innocent or too drunk, or any of the other many excuses that don't make it look like you're cheating. But you backing out now makes it sound really bad.
See you at school, you're so cute.
Why do I do this to myself? What is he doing? Shut the fuck up, man. Know when to stop. Honestly, if I saw someone do this in real life, I'd probably do something like this.
You're not ugly. It's just that I go... Don't fight it. You'll thank me later.
No, it's pathetic, but part of me still wants her approval.
Yeah, it is pathetic. And here is a question. Is this scene supposed to be him drunk or him being sane? Because for the life of me, I can't work it out. Because while he's being clueless, stupid, and impulsive, those are his normal traits, and they aren't unique to the scene. So is he acting like this because he's drunk, or is he just being his usual stupid self?
Well, how you feeling now? Sobered up a little?
Also a stellar delivery from Laura here.
The trip. She was quiet as a mouse and then she totally blew up at me.
To be fair for a second, if she was quiet as a mouse for a while, then that inherently implies that things were said that she didn't get mad at, right? Which makes this statement not really apply? Am I crazy?
Chizuru's not like that.
Okay, I do like that they showed that he could deal with it because at least he was getting the attention. But the fact that Mami is bad-mouthing Chizuru finally made Kazuya realize that she isn't trying to get back together with him.
Take it easy. It's no biggie.
I mean, it clearly is. That isn't really the approach I'd go for, especially because it only worked last time because Kazuya was too much of a puss to say anything. And now he's the one who's criticizing. So this approach could never work.
Why do I keep doing this stuff?
Because you never think things through, because no one ever punishes you for your stupid behavior, because you're an unsympathetic prick. Like, this is another running theme, but it's the writer shoehorning in lines they hear a lot in other anime without stopping to think about why they worked in those other shows.
Isn't she home yet?
My dude, didn't she literally tell you not to come here? Like, wasn't that a boundary? Like, I know Kazuya has no brain function, but it seems to me the writers just forgot the boundaries they established in episode 2.
How would she ever want to see my face again?
At least you're admitting it. This might make you think that we're gonna see some character development, but...
Huh?
Okay, so before we get into the core issue with this scene, the fact that Chizuru showed up after Kazuya makes no sense, so let's break it down. So Chizuru left the restaurant when it was still light, and Kazuya left when it was dark. Then after he left, he walked with Mami, hung around with her for 5.5 minutes, then walked home. Therefore, there is no possible way for Chizuru to have arrived after him, especially because they left from the same spot and live in the same building. So either the writers forgot Chizuru left first, or Chizuru got home and then hid under the stairs to wait for Kazuya, and when he showed up, she walked up to him. And honestly, the first one is just Occam's razor, so I'll go with that.
I'm not mad at you or anything.
We see this a lot. Kazuya's better at dishing out consequences to himself than Chizuru or any other character, and they actively suppress any seeming attempts at character development. And the problem with that is that it means Kazuya will never learn anything. But because you see him showing regret, it tricks you into thinking he's changed. And that just pisses me off. It's like, instead of moving your character forward and making the person viewing and projecting think they need to change, we could just have him pretend to change, but never do so. So it looks like they have an arc, but they really don't.
I'm just so pathetic. I am.
I mean, it depends on what you mean by pathetic. If you mean you're a liar and a haughty idiot who can't focus on his work, then yeah, you're pathetic. But if you mean you tried to get back together with Mami by getting rid of Chizuru, that's the wrong conclusion to draw. And from Chizuru's response, the scene is going for the latter, which is really building on the whole arc for fashion, not for substance thing.
Here's a goodbye, like a see you again.
How does that make any sense? If anything, it makes it worse because it means that you don't get any closure, which is the first step toward moving on. And the reason this is so bad is because this is presented as good wisdom from Chizuru here. So the fact that it makes no sense makes this moment feel even stupider.
It's just, I'm wondering if I should have come along with you guys.
Okay, so once again, we have the show cutting in and having the character ask the most obvious question. Like when they invited him, which I assume they would have done last, wouldn't they have told him Mami was coming? And wouldn't he have logically asked this question then? Again, I could excuse this if it happened one time, but it happens over and over and over again.
So why didn't you ask Chizuru to come?
Another question you'd think he would have asked, before. But hey, why should you time questions to when they would logically be asked? When you can just cut into some random spot that makes the time before this seem stupid, right? Here's an obvious one. What did Chizuru pay for the extra time? I thought rental girlfriends couldn't just go overtime. Like, what do you mean? He didn't tell the agency he was doing an extension, so did she just pay for the hour? Or did she admit to the extra time and give them the money out of her own pocket for that too? So many questions, so few shits given by the show.
How much longer I can keep this up?
I mean, I don't know why you didn't think of this ages ago. Like, you think your dad would have taught you that money doesn't grow on trees, bro. Like, the fact that Kazuya manages to sustain his lifestyle from episode 1 till episode 9 is baffling to me. But that's because this show likes to pay lip services to logical, real work consequences and then do nothing with them.
And look, I know how hard this whole breakup thing with Mommy's been, but you still ought to treat your new girlfriend right.
I do like how, despite not knowing the full story, Kibe actually has some good advice for his bro. Shame after episode 5 he stops being an advisory figure in the show, though.
Kibe said she wanted to invite me here, but does that really mean she doesn't mind if I have a new girlfriend?
Yes, it does. Full stop. End of story. Like, this is like someone writing 1 + 1 = 2 and then going, wait, is this really the correct answer? Of course that's right. Why are you questioning this of all things and not your other stupid life choices?
I'm gonna leave my aimless rental girlfriend life here in Izu.
Lines like this make me think the writers for the first 5 episodes read the manga and all became massive Kazuya and Ruka shippers, so the studio had to fire them all and get a new star for the rest, because this really does support the idea that those two should get together, despite, their relationship having about 10 trillion problems, which we'll get to later.
Come on, hurry up!
Why is she hiding? Like, this is way outside her local area, so no way she should have an obvious fear of running into any clients. And besides that, her hiding would inherently tell her friends she has something to hide, which is the opposite of what she is trying to accomplish. So this is just really weird. But here's something funny about this moment. He didn't get a chance to look this up, so I did, and the first thing it said was to take your time before reaching out, which is hilarious to think about considering the context of this show.
Hey, you thirsty?
You could say that.
Okay, that is a pretty good one. But unfortunately, that is one of the only good jokes in the entire show. So if you didn't think that was funny, then don't worry, it only gets worse.
She really is a nice girl.
That line is used over and over and over, and trust me, I'm going to highlight it each time, because this line often shows a case of Kazuya being easily manipulated, and it really embodies more than anything the fact that Kazuya's arc is just a way of having an arc because the viewers know an arc is a good thing, but not having the character change because the viewers projecting on him don't want to feel embarrassed for doing so.
You remember that?
So, on one hand, this is actually a good strategy for her to make Kazuya think he has a shot, since she seems to be showing regret over insulting him and reminiscing on their relationship, so it would definitely make someone like him thinks he has a shot. But on the other hand, the fact that they were talking about a future kid when she wouldn't go to his apartment and they hadn't even dated for a month makes no sense to me.
What kind of action are we talking about here?
Fucking hate this man. How can he never work out how sexual innuendos work? It's not funny, it's not a good character trait, and it adds nothing except time to the runtime. Figured I'd bring this up now because I can kill two birds with one stone, but it's already a contrivance that they run into each other right at this moment, since if they had come over at exactly this moment, then Kazuya would have spilled the beans. Like, if she wasn't there, then Mami would know from this moment. But it is also so goddamn contrived that the weekend Chizuru isn't with Kazuya here. She happens to end up here with her friends. Like, what if they decide to go to a different beach? Or when a weekend later? So once again, we see the problem. Because this show is serialized, any contrivance upsets the balance of the narratives, as it means that every event that results from a contrivance is inherently contrived. And contrivances aren't a one-time thing. They are everywhere, which makes the events in the show feel like they're 1 in a million, which isn't what you want if you want people to think that this show is supposed to have some narrative tissue.
Can't believe no one's realized Ichinose is the same girl as Mizuhara.
Wow, I was gonna say that too, bro. Thanks for critiquing your own show for me. Real swell. No, but seriously, this is a major stupidity that occurs throughout the show, and really makes Chizuru's desire to keep her rental girlfriend job a secret kind of look stupid, considering how paper-thin her disguise is.
It's nice to finally meet you.
So while this is supposed to frame Chizuru as good at handling social situations, the issue for me is why did she say finally? Since that would imply that she has had a desire to meet him, which clearly wouldn't track with anything her friends or his friends have said. So this would ask quite a few irritating questions.
No one wears glasses at the beach.
Yeah, this is a running gag of the show pretending that someone will figure it out and then they say something stupid. And it almost feels like the show is trying to get roasted, considering that they point out their own plot holes and joke about them instead of, fixing them.
We were talking about you and Mizuhara.
So this is a pretty obvious one, but Kazuya has never in front of Mami or any of his friends called her Mizuhara at this point. And even when she introduced herself to Kuri and Kibe, she just said her name was Chizuru, not Chizuru Mizuhara. So once again, we see how little this show cares for its continuity.
Don't worry about hurting my feelings.
Now that's some good manipulation, which is another running theme of the show doing something right once, and then failing at it like 10 times. Like, how did they do this well here, but when Kazuya tries to lie, the writers go with the lamest shit and it somehow works?
I've got to tell Mommy the truth about Mizuhara, so I can find out if she still likes me or not.
Think, man. If she does like you, then you just admitted you lied to her a bunch, which could make her like you less, and if she doesn't, then you essentially just revealed to her that you're so much of a loser you had to rent a girlfriend for no reason, and Mommy could tell the whole friend group, making you basically the laughingstock of your friend group. Well, even more than you already are, I guess. What is the plan here? Like, what if one of her friends saw? Or worse, one of his? Like, this is the stupid shit Chizuru pulled in episode 2, with the ante upped because he doesn't even have a clear plan or motive here. He is just being a complete idiot.
Why did you say you could give me both a goodbye and a see you again?
Okay, no, 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 no. That is not a good reason for potentially jeopardizing literally everything. I mean, fuck me. Does he have absolutely no common sense? Like, holy shit, man, what were the writers thinking here?
So it's not like me telling you about her would make you jealous or anything.
So then why are you saying this? This just feels like either Kazuya being the biggest idiot he has been in a while, or him trying to troll Chizuru, which is also really stupid.
I was only trying to say thank you.
That is not what anyone would interpret from what you just said, bro. Like, are the writers trying to show us him being an idiot? Or trying to make us believe that? Because if their goal was the first, they are succeeding masterfully. And if they are trying to do the second, they need a lot of help.
I was talking on the phone.
I mean, even if that did work, with the context of the show, then it still makes no sense why you were on a call in the bathroom and why she could hear the girl through the phone. Like, if that's the best he can do, there is no chance he could have kept the secret for a year, as the rest of the show says. But that's a point we'll keep covering later.
So you can't.
It is actually weird to me how they have Kazuya showing some restraint here, as in he doesn't grab her arm, since that is a skill he pretty much loses by episode 6.
It's easy to know, say she'll realize that she and Mizuhara are the same person.
Well, so you'd think she would have worked that out, you know, at the beach, considering your reaction there. But I guess your back was turned to her, so what are you gonna do?
Wait a sec. I thought you said it was too short of notice for her to come along with us.
Okay, why do they have Curry say this? Kazuya said this line to Kibe, so it makes way more sense for him to say this line. Hey, I guess the show thinks its audience is so dumb they can't remember what happened 10 minutes ago. But sorry to burst their bubble, but there aren't enough people that stupid in the world for your show to get a decent amount of money.
Yeah, it was. But it turns out she's got family and
Also, it's bizarre he even tells a lie here, considering what he said was it was a surprise, and then Curry goes, wait, but that's not what you said. So he can just go, yeah, that was the lie to sell the surprise. Like, why would he make this web of lies more complex than it needs to be? I don't get it. I'm sorry, is my memory acting up? Didn't you literally suggest that he should bring her? But now that she's here, you can't handle it? Like, I know it isn't surprising that they would have Mommy grab the idiot ball, but still it is kind of sad, since she had a couple minutes of being a relatively well-written character.
This could have been avoided if you just told them we broke up like you were supposed to.
Another line that's gonna get completely contradicted in 4 episodes, and this, again, while I know these first few episodes didn't have a different writing staff, this shit sure as hell makes me feel like it.
Oh, fine, run away!
Sorry, isn't this a golden opportunity to do what you apparently want to do so much? You know, the fake breakup, since he's over there and won't be able to stop you? Nope, I guess he has to do it because,
her off might not be enough to get me out of trouble with her this time.
let's be real, the day you experience real consequences for your actions is the day I die, bro.
I'll tell Gran and everyone that we broke up and we're through.
Somehow I doubt it, because while you pretend to have remorse, not only are you too much of a loser and a pussy to actually go through with that, but Chizuru doesn't push you to, when you actually get remorseful.
Yeah, he's not a cheater.
This moment right here, I feel, is the best time to bring up the question that can contextualize some of my criticism. Who is this show actually for? The obvious answer is incels, but I definitely think it appeals to simps as well. This show is basically aimed at anyone who has the fantasy of having many women fawning over them, despite their shitty personality. And while the show tries to pretend it isn't that, the ultimate nail in the coffin for that defense is Ruka, but even here, we see Kazuya pretending to date a girl way out of his league while kissing his ex. Like, this is the kind of thing that a guy who thinks they deserve a girlfriend because he thinks that girls just don't see what a supposedly nice guy they are dream of. And while this is essentially how every harem works, this show only really puts thought into its pandering, and not any other element of the story. And this is where we see the flaw of pandering so hard to one group. You sacrifice good writing, because good writing is writing that, while it may have a target demographic, can be enjoyed by anyone. Only a bad writer uses the "it's not for you" defense, because why shouldn't it be for me? Why shouldn't I watch this show? We see a lot of attention drawn these days to this shit when left-wingers do it, But I want to point it out here, because this is a flaw involved in the process of the writing, not the political leaning. While this episode has some good stuff sprinkled in, it's mostly just shit. Kibe's good, Mami's mostly shit with some good moments, Kazuya sucks like always, and so does Chizuru. See you next time with episode 4, one of the only good episodes of the show.